Here, let's talk about House of Leaves. It's a it's a really great book. Essentially, the main plot is plot. John is about a teenager named Johnny Truant who goes into a house and gets a book. Total horror movie trope. And then which apparently written by the book was apparently written by an old man named Zampano, and and most of the entire book, except for the three appendixes, is about is simply just Johnny's attempts at resurrecting it. Most of the there are tons of footnotes, and and it's about a film named The Navidson Record. Apparently, this is this. Navidson is a filmmaker who lived with his not yet wife, Karen Green, and their two children, Chad and Daisy. The, the film essentially shows one day Navidson notices that a door that the inside of the house is larger than the outside of the house, and then after that he notices a door to an entire new labyrinth, and the entire book and it's rested. So essentially, the novel shows the fallout in entering the inner labyrinth of the house, and but here's one thing. Zampano was totally blind, and also the Navidson record never existed in the first place. Anyways, most of footnotes contain something odd. Passage about the classic Greek creature known as the Minotaur, a creature. It has a head of the bull and body of a man. It's supposed to be in red font, but in every time word house is mentioned, it's in blue font. But for my edition, it has no red. It's no red font. It's just that it's crossed out. Then essentially it essentially just depicts Johnny's sensual breakdown, and his last note, and it also begins ranting about his mysterious mother, Pelafina Heather Nuares, who went into the funny. Let's just say that she went to the funny farm. You all know what I'm talking about, right? Then it says, then it's often mentioned that it's clear that John believes that the only reason she got in there was for apparently a hug, but which apparently a hug turned extreme. So essentially, and that also contributes to Johnny's breakdown. And the last part, his last monologue, entire chapter dedicated to part of the chapter dedicated to entirely footnotes. After his last footnote describes a story that one of the doctors who lived with him told him about a baby flatlining. Anyway, this is the gist of House of Leaves. I hope you like it. Be sure to like and subscribe.